Good morning and welcome to Brewing with Scott Leffler. I'm your host. My name's Scott Leffler. It is Thursday, September 13th, 2012, and have a bit of a short show today because I have things to do. Also, not doing the show live at 12:30 today. So if you were tuning in at 12:30 looking for this live, well, you found it. It's just not live. Sorry about that, but enjoy it nonetheless. Doing the show every day on ustream.tv as well as on YouTube. Tweet me at Scott Leffler and I don't know, have fun. Oh, by the way, I started a Facebook account for the show. If you go to facebook.com/brewing with Scott Leffler, all one word, no spaces, you will find me there. So, although I don't, my personal Facebook account is for friends. I started that Facebook account so that, whoever, whatever, and I'll do show announcements and stuff there. But Twitter's where it's really going to be at. So tweet me at Scott Leffler. By the way, I found I've had a bunch of additions to the Twitterverse lately, which I greatly appreciate. To those of you who have added me on Twitter, thanks. I appreciate it. Look forward to talking with you more. I do respond to tweets and all that fun stuff, so please do tweet me at Scott Leffler. Speaking of tweets, just a couple very minor topics today. But we're going to start with one that's Twitter related. I mentioned during yesterday's show that I sort of picked on Craig Canale on Twitter, and he sent me a shout out via Twitter last night saying, "Hey, caught the show. It was good. In fact, I've got it here. It says, thanks, good show. You should come on at HuffPost Live sometime. That's a live video show, much like the one we're doing here, but on Huffington Post's website, or a Huffington Post website, I should say, not the main Huffington Post website, but it's a Huffington Post property. So that's kind of neat." He adds, seems you have a great voice and interest in current events, and yes, was assigned, though fun. Appreciate kind words, by the way. He's talking about the story that I was picking on him about, but I think that it's funny that he watched a video of me and then said that I have a good voice. Very telling. I always knew I belonged in radio. But this is a video show, and I'm glad that you're joining me for it. So the one thing that I really want to talk about today is a continuation of yesterday's show. And again, today's show is going to be shorter because it's 5:47 in the morning as I'm recording this. This is bedtime for me, but I'm waking up now because I've got things to do, places to go, people to see, etc. Literally 5:47 in the morning. It's about what time I usually go to bed. Maybe a little earlier than this, but not much. I got about 2 hours of sleep. I woke up, I showered, I'm dressed, and I'm on my way out the door. But first, I had to do the show because it's a daily show, and I'm going to do this daily. And this is something that I really want to do, and I really want you to get involved in too. So please tweet me at Scott Leffler or do the whole Facebook thing. But Twitter is my preference. So at Scott Leffler on Twitter. The one topic I have today, I want to continue the discussion that we were having yesterday about Mitt Romney sticking his foot in his mouth on the whole Libya attacks. It's funny because when I do these topics every day, I don't know that they're going to blow up to the degree that they are. But so far, a lot of the things that we've talked about have gone on to be multiple day stories. And it seems to me as though this Libya issue is going to be a multiple week story. Maybe this could be the story of the campaign, because a lot of people think that Mitt Romney has shown that he is just not presidential. I don't know whether I agree with that or not. I think he showed some lack of judgment in denigrating the president over the handling of the killings in Libya. I think he's going to regret it. I think it's going to hurt him. This is an election about the domestic economy. Foreign affairs doesn't play quite as big a role in this election as it has in previous ones. 2004, most notably, foreign affairs was a big deal. This time, not so much. This is about people's paychecks and the handling of the economy. However, there's like a litmus test, if you will, that like the president of the United States must have a handle on foreign affairs. And time again, it seems to me as though Mitt Romney is showing that he doesn't. And I think people are really worried about this. And a lot of people within his own party have really said, Mitt, I don't agree with you on this. Now, some people do agree with him. Newt Gingrich, on Twitter, by the way, at Newt Gingrich, he did agree. He tweeted yesterday, our embassy in Cairo is attacked and our flag destroyed, and Obama apologizes. It's time for better foreign policy. Obama, of course, if you're really following the story, did not apologize. That's not how it worked out at all. And so a lot of people are upset that that Mitt Romney is lying, or at least pushing the envelope a little further than most people would want you to push the envelope during such a sad occasion. John Huntsman, for example, actually tweeted yesterday something to the effect of, and I couldn't find the tweet this morning, but I did see it yesterday, something to the effect of, that there's great remorse over the event and solemn prayers, etc. And that's really what you're looking for here, in my opinion, from a presidential candidate. You're not looking for guns and sabers rattling. Again, as I mentioned yesterday, we had that for 8 years with George W. Bush. It didn't help. It got us to where we are. I don't want to be here anymore, and much of the country doesn't want to be here anymore either. So a lot of people really upset and offended at Mitt Romney. I don't know that I'm upset or offended, but I think he's going to grow to regret it, and I think we're going to continue to talk about this story more and more and more and more. So there you go. I know that it was in today's paper. I know that it will be on today's news, and I know that we were talking about it yesterday. And that's what I want to do. I want to talk about the stuff that everybody's talking about the next day. And so far, I've been sort of lucky to be ahead of the curve. I think I've got some good judgment when it comes to news and things that are going to be big. They're things that I find interesting, and I kind of think that I'm a lot like a lot of other people. I am every man, if you will, or at least I'd like to think that I am. So, yeah, so that's where I'm at. Again, I told you today's show is going to be short. Apparently, it's going to be super short because that's the one thing that I wanted to talk about, and now I'm good. So, actually, one more very, 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 very minor thing. I saw this on actually, a friend of mine tweeted this. Brewing with Scott Leveler. Wouldn't be right without the coffee, right? It's early. I need this. A friend of mine, Rhonda, actually tweeted this yesterday, and I was surprised, taken back. I don't know. The Obama for President campaign is opening an office in Buffalo on Friday. Now, I do the show out of Buffalo. I assume most of the people that are watching right now are watching from Buffalo or are from Buffalo and they're watching. Eventually, we're going to grow the show bigger than that. But right now, not a lot of stuff about Buffalo, but I expect there's some Buffalo influence. But the Obama campaign is opening an office in Buffalo on Friday, 1645 Hurdle Avenue to be specific. They're having a bit of an office party Friday night. Friday's tomorrow. See, I'm off. Mornings, not my thing. Tomorrow morning from 6 to 8 p.m., they're having an office party. And I can't help but wonder why would you have an office in Buffalo? I mean, really, I understand having an office in New York City, but are they worried about New York not being a blue state, not being blue enough? Or is this more of a fundraising thing? Which leads me to, or brings me to, think of all the money that is spent on the election. Could you imagine if all that money were spent on something else or given to the poor? Could you imagine all the money that could be floating around out there that instead is being spent on the election? Now, you could argue that money being spent on the election is actually going to the economy. For example, if someone were to spend money to run a newspaper advertisement or a television advertisement, well, then that's going to the newspaper, which is employing journalists, or the TV station, which is employing reporters, and then it trickles down, etc. I don't know. I personally hate to see all this money being spent for something. I don't want to say it's trivial because it's an election. It's a big deal. But I hate to see this much money being spent on something so ugly as a campaign. I guess that's what it is. So that's my personal belief. But I'm coming up on the 10-minute mark. And originally that was the plan, was to have the show to be 10 to 15 minutes long per day. I feel like today's show was super short, but that's because yesterday's show was 23 minutes. By the way, all the shows so far have been put up on YouTube. So jump on over there and see them. Follow me on Twitter, do the Facebook thing, Ustream, etc., etc. I will be back tomorrow live at 12:30, like doing my normal thing, and I will catch you then. In the meantime, catch me on Twitter. You've been watching Brewing with Scott Leffler. I'm Scott Leffler. Thanks, and have a great day.